Hello, my name is Cal Fahey, and the goal of this video is to give you information on the Leica Geosystems Scan Station and the FARO 3D Laser Scanner. The reason I'll be doing this video is to just share the information I've gathered in the process. So first, maybe a little bit about myself. I am no expert in laser scanners, but I do consider myself an expert in worthy equipment. I'm a retired special operations technician, and I've been involved in many a combat zone to turn over information to the U.S. government, as well as international information to turn over to The Hague when it pertained to war crimes. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is try and apply the same prerequisites that I would to gathering any type of information on equipment that I would have deployed with. So just imagine, if you will, I used to jump out of airplanes between anywhere from 12,500 feet to 34,000 feet. And when I hit the ground, well, I certainly needed my equipment to operate under all kinds of environmental factors. So that doesn't make me special. It just means I have a lot of experience in trying to gather data about what kind of equipment is going to sustain the operation that I'm involved in. So not just my military experience, I've done contracting in many a combat zone also around the world. So enough about that, and let's get into some of the equipment that I'll be talking about. One of the first things I did was I found like two of the main systems on the market that are out there, the Leica Geosystems and the FARO Focus3D Laser Scanner. And the first thing I did was get their data sheets. So let's go ahead and look at them right now. Okay, what I'm going to do on the workstation right now is draw up those two spec sheets. Bear with me. And even before I talk about what's in each one of them, maybe I want to talk about some of the challenges when it comes to like seeing the marketing that's out there. You know, I came across all kinds of videos, beautiful brochures, and even the websites can lead you to believe something that may not necessarily be the total truth, if you will. It may have some omissions. Sometimes the marketing departments, I would think, get a little ahead of themselves versus what they would like to think that their equipment can do versus the actual engineering and what it's capable of. So not all the marketing out there is equal, so that's why I went straight to the specification sheets. They usually don't, or they shouldn't lie. I mean, these are hard engineering specifications. So first one I'll open up here is, let me get to that. This is the Leica Geosystems Scan Station P20 specifications. And one of the first things I found on it that really stood out to me was its operating temperature range is between -4 Fahrenheit to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. So the first thing it told me was, wow, great, this can operate in extreme cold as well as extreme heat. And then there was something I had to actually educate myself about. I looked under there and I saw dust/humidity, and I saw a number there and a code. It says IP54. You could go to Wikipedia and go ahead and take a look at what that means, but what it kind of told me was the 5 covers like the dust rating, and the 4 covers the humidity rating. So the first thing I found out was this piece of equipment does have an IP rating, letting me know from a specification standpoint that it can operate under rain, snow, and dusty conditions. And if anyone out there has ever been in the desert, any desert, God forbid the Sahara Desert, that dust will find its way into a sealed bottle, it seems like. So having a dust rating is pretty important to this guy right here. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Let me draw that up. So, okay, I got the manual, or correction, what's called the FARO tech sheet for the Focus 3D X330. And I skipped through a lot of the stuff in the front, and I get myself down to environmental. And, you know, I couldn't find much in there, except for it tells me that it can perform in sunlight. Okay, that's great. That works for all of us. So I had to keep on going down. There's no information whatsoever when it comes to a IP rating. And that for me is somewhat of a red flag, because I need to know that this equipment is going to work for me under all kinds of austere conditions, or regardless, anywhere you would go with equipment. If you had to deal with these situations, you got time, you got expenses, cost overruns, etc. I don't need to tell you this. We're talking about the equipment. I'm already leaning in a particular way when it comes to this, but we'll just hold off. So what I found down here was under hardware specifications. The only thing I could find on temperature was ambient temperature between 5 degrees and 40 degrees Celsius. I converted that to Fahrenheit, and that's a operating range between 41 degrees and 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Quite a bit of a difference between -4 degrees and 120 degrees, 22 degrees Fahrenheit for the Leica system. So right there, it's not operating in just the temperature range. So that kind of said, okay, the spec sheets aren't doing it enough for me. So I went ahead and I did a bit of calling around. I reached out to people in the industry, and I got my hands on a manual. So let me go ahead and draw that up here, and I'll point out a couple of things that I found in the manual. I decided to insert this picture of the FARO wrapped in saran wrap and the one with the umbrellas above it, because I found them while searching for the manual, and they speak volumes to me. Okay, so I have the manual out in front of me, and I got a couple of notes. And one of the first things I did on this manual, which is 202 pages long, and I think I scoured it pretty well, but at first I just did a cursory search, and I typed in the words water. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people aren't going to get this manual or see it. You usually don't get it until you've purchased a unit. So again, this is the FARO manual. And on page 11, the first thing when I typed in the water search that caught my eye was do not immerse in water. Liquid in the product's enclosure can lead to damage, fire, or electrical shocks. And I could go on and on with the details of that inside the manual. And I would go ahead, and now I think on the very next page, on page 12, what I came across there was for outdoor use, which is some of the applications that I'll be using it for. It is mostly outdoors. And one of the things that popped up was for outdoor use, please use the power block battery as the battery supply, and this is key here, ensure that the device is protected from rain or spray water. That's kind of like a no-go for me. I certainly had problems with that. And let me go ahead and I'll get to the next one here. Real fast before I move on was I did a little bit of research about why to protect it from rain or spray water. I wanted to know specifically what it was, and my research led me to believe that the problem was it has an exposed mirror in the scanner. and the gaskets aren't of, I don't want to utilize the word quality. For whatever reason, it was not designed to protect the mirror from the moisture. So, without me even going much further about like even the warranty, further down on page 12 in the manual, and I'm looking at it right now, under servicing, it says servicing and repair can only be done by qualified personnel authorized by FARO. And then it says, refer servicing to qualified service personnel under the following conditions. And I'll just drop down to the product has been exposed to rain, water, or other liquids. So that's telling me right there that this system is would be void, unlike the Leica system. So right there, this was pretty important to me. So let me go ahead and scroll through to my next point. The next thing that I came across, which was almost disturbing. Once I read it, I had to like read it again. And I definitely made a note of this. And you would find this in the section that's called Purchase Conditions. And that's in Appendix B. And in paragraph 4.13, and I'm just going to read it verbatim, and you can make your own conclusions. 4.13, oral representations of FARO or its sales representatives, officers, employees, or agents cannot be relied upon as correctly stating the representations of FARO in connection with the system. Refer to this purchase order, any exhibits hereto, and any written materials supplied by FARO for correct representations. So, like in a nutshell, it's basically saying that any other information out there from FARO, its sales reps, officers, employees, or agents cannot be relied upon. You know, I come from the arena where I need strong, valid ground truth when it comes to equipment, situations, conditions, etc. So right there, another big red flag. You make your own conclusion as to what this means in the manual. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just putting out the information. So to go ahead and just summarize this, and I'll refer to my notes quickly. I found that the Leica scan station does have an IP rating. It can operate in the rain, snow, wind, and dust. The FARO system has no IP rating, basically saying, well, in their own words, don't get it wet or very cold. So to leave you with this video, I found a couple other videos of the Leica system, and I'll go ahead and put them up there showing them operating in various conditions: extreme wet, extreme cold, extreme wind. And I look forward to doing a couple of more upcoming analysis videos on this topic. I'm just going to gather data that's out there and put it out because hopefully I'm going to save somebody some time. It was hard for me to research these items. It kind of cuts into, you know, my business and my life. So hopefully if I share it, somebody can get some value out of it. So thanks again. This is Cal out here. See you next time. This shot is one of the first ones I came across and found on the internet during my research after reading the manuals. And right here you can see the Leica system, somebody making a note that it's being utilized in negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And I would say that's a very extreme condition, and it really sold me. It really said that this thing is out there and operating, and this guy was so proud that it was. And now let me show you the next clip right now. And this shot here, another one that speaks for itself. This isn't the Leica system out in the rain. This is the Leica system out in a storm. It's not wrapped in saran wrap. No one has an umbrella over it. pretty darn amazing. This operator even moves his camera around to show the effect of the storm weather that's happening. And I think I'm just going to let this play out, and you just watch it, and it speaks volumes.